Mm, it's been far too long. I feel like it's been far too long since we've gotten together to have a conversation. So, in just under 2 weeks, I look forward to you joining us here in Philadelphia, where we can dig deeper into the work that our community is executing. I want to give you some situational awareness about the 2 days, but first, I want to say thank you because of the expense, because of this sacrifice, the airfare, the hotel, just for you to be here is a sacrifice and an investment of time that I know everyone is not in a position to give right now. A small group was invited, an even smaller group was able to accept, but the work will be worth it. I want to share some slides with you again, just to give you that situational awareness. Here we go. So the vision is to bring into full focus Teachers and as a vehicle for commercialization and designed to disrupt as an entity co-developed by us to become a forcing function for the adoption of modern educational practices. In 2023, we'll observe 3 years of collective effort that has positioned us to align our communities for success through K-20 education. I want to give you some insight into my thought process because I just came back from the desert, right? Sunburned and all. There are 3 areas of operation that I have to think about, that I have to be mindful of. And they're the deep, the close, and support. In the deep area, that's where the enemy has control, where we are not present. The close is where we engage with our adversary. In the case of education, this is where inequity and outdated educational practices exist. And then there's the support area. That's where we have control to design, to disrupt. Philly, right now, for 2 days, will serve as our support area. And over these 2 days, we'll work through a series of individual and team activities that will containerize our legal entities so we can execute a strategic vision. Notice, I didn't say strategic plan. Strategy isn't a plan. Although planning is absolutely required, a strategy is an integrative set of choices that positions us on this playing field that we call education to win. Teachers Ann is currently positioned so that when she wins, you win. When Teachers Ann wins, Easel wins. Pueblo wins. Droneversity wins. When Teachers Ann wins, CRISPR Classroom wins. Often, I see a plan called strategy dictating the outcomes of a series of steps and expenditures. These are the things we can control. In a plan, we can dictate the outcome. We can list the expenses and the activities. But strategy, that's something different. With a plan, we control the cost. We're the customer that needs to be convinced. And when you finish that plan, doesn't it feel great? It's so comfortable. With strategy, it's less comfortable. The actual customers are the customers, the families, the educators, most importantly, the scholars, and we don't control them. And the revenue that we generate from our work is their concurrence that we are addressing their needs. We are relieving their pain points. So designing a strategy in education is what we will come together to define, to articulate. And we're actually still in the final stages. We're still thinking of the name. But I wanted to run down some of the highlights of the activities. I'll even make it easier for you to see. There we go. So Ben Petrick is one of our close community friends that if you have not come in contact with Ben, he is hyper-focused on problem solving and will talk to us about marrying the problem and dating the solution. Here in Pennsylvania, there is a very, I don't want to say unique as much as opportunity. There's an opportunity to focus on something called Act 158, where the graduation criteria is expanding, that creates an opportunity for out-of-school time programming that our community is uniquely positioned to serve. We'll talk about commercialization with Troy Wilford. Troy is focused in the biotechnology space, but it's agnostic. His advice on commercialization, I believe, will speak to each and every one of our entrepreneurs. And then thinking about programmatic partnerships. Often I have conversations about what we will deliver, what the solution is. But when we start to talk about the dollars and cents, the funding, and where the resources will come from to sustain the work, the conversation can become complex. So we want to create some fidelity here, demystify, if you will, and this will be our roundtable discussion. We also have an innovation picnic where I'd like to introduce you to some key members in our entrepreneurial community in this region and really help you get a sense of the magic that's happening. So I look forward to seeing you. There are some key emails that are going to come out. Lakeisha with Easel for tomorrow will be sending some registration information. You know how to get in touch with me. Feel free. I'm taking the next week or so off from work to be able to decompress and really reset myself for what's next and what's to come. I, again, am grateful, and I'm looking forward to what we will create together in an effort to design, to disrupt, and reimagine education. I'll see you soon.